when you're live aboard on a boat, your boat is your home. And just like when you have a home on land, sometimes things break and you gotta fix them. If you've been watching our videos, you probably already know that our V-berth, which is where our water tanks are, recently turned into a waterbed. Time to fix it. Get to work, Johnny. This is our water tank. One of the videos you saw us fill it. And if you remember, our bed became a waterbed because, unbeknownst to us, there was a crack. There was a crack in the tank. Daggum. So, because Johnny don't think the waterbed was cool, he has already added one layer of epoxy, and we're waiting for it to dry. And when that gets done, he's going to add a second layer and put foam over the top, or in the middle, so that they don't squeeze together, which is what we think formed the crack. I'd like to point out that it's supposed to be 5-minute epoxy, and Johnny put it on like 30 minutes ago. So, we have the heater here by the tank, and trying to get it to dry quicker because we're going to dinner with Jeremy and Bree, and we're all hungry, so we want it to dry, but it's 5-minute epoxy. Just saying. What's the black and yellow stuff actually called again?
Brolite.
Brolite.
2-part putty system, that's water activated.
And that is what is filling that to keep the foam supposed to keep the two from bending together.
It will, yeah. It'll give us some reinforcement. It needs to have some flex. At least I would think so. Probably won't have any by the time I'm done though. Something in here to stop the top from going up like it was doing.
In there?
Up inside the wood there. Easy, good stuff.
Inside the wood down there?
Huh?
You added the foam in?
Yeah, there's foam. There's a big foam block.
Oh.
A heavy core block here, and one over here, so that we remember that time the top bowed way up.
Mm-hmm. All because Johnny doesn't want a waterbed. This is Brolite. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
And you take the black, and you take the gold, and it makes drab green. Johnny said it is very important that everyone know that our waterbed water tanks are not for potable water. We do not ingest the water for any reason. It is important to point this out because brolite is poisonous, right?
Yes, toxic.
Toxic.
It is
So
toxic for consumption.
It is toxic for consumption. So in other words, if you fix your water tank with brolite, and you drink the water, you can get very sick, or you can die.
Now, that's what the epoxy was for, was to keep this from bleeding over into the water tank, but you still should not consume the water.
Oh.
It's very important that that's known. You say, oh, but...
Okay. I've been corrected. The epoxy keeps the brolite from touching the water in the water tank.
But that don't make it okay to drink.
But that does not make the water in the water tanks okay to drink or cook with. It's good for washing dishes, flushing the head. That's about it. We fill water jugs.
Doing laundry when we're out on the hook.
Yeah, it's good for doing laundry when we're out on the hook.
Anything we need water for. Besides
Right.
drinking it or eating it.
Yes, anything we would need water for except for eating or drinking it.
If you'd like to know more about brolite, please hit the subscribe and like button.
If you'd like to know more about brolite, hit the like and subscribe button. And what did you say about the water with the brolite? What did you say about the water with the brolite?
Keep your hands wet and keep it wet, or it's going to stick to you. And this shit don't come off.
Brolite. Also brolite.
Cures underwater.
It cures underwater
Yeah. Once you
and
mix it up.
turns to putty.
Yeah, so if you had a small seepage or a small hole that wouldn't suck through on the outside of your boat coming in, you can stick it on the outside, hold it there until it starts to set up, and then you got a temporary band-aid to get back.
Fun fact, you can also fix doors with this stuff because Johnny fixed one on Cole's boat, the Clarabee.
And steps on Ann.
And, yeah, and the steps on Anne's Stream. Now you know.
Decent.
We bought that stuff from Ace. Because Ace is the place with the helpful hardware store. How much did that stuff cost?
Just I think this one's like $35
For the two of them?
for the set.
Yeah.
For the kid.
Because the black and gold come together.
The shrimp boat captains love this stuff.
The shrimp boat captains. Mm-hmm. Side note, we did not get to dinner with Jeremy and Bree.
Oh.
He is still working on the waterbed water tank. Boat problems.
Does not cure in 5 minutes under 70. How hard would that have been? They put everything else on there.
So the 5-minute epoxy didn't have a temperature gauge?
No, it has temperature readings on the back, the best used at. And when I looked at it, it's like it had to be, for the 5-minute set time was like 85 degrees or something, or 75 degrees or something, or below 70, or will take longer time to cure, which is why we have the heater in here.
The heater is here to help dry the epoxy.
And now the bromide. And now the bromide. Because this shit takes a while to set up anyhow. This ain't no 5-minute stuff here.
Did we get the 5-minute stuff from Ace too?
Yes.
Well, on that one, Ace wasn't so friendly. But the black and yellow is worth it. Because he's done
Yeah,
did
'cause you do
lots
all
of
kinds
projects.
Yeah. It don't take a whole lot of this to do the job.
You even did a job on hydrotherapy, didn't you, with the black and yellow?
Hydrotherapy and cold bed. These two little jobs. I mean, they do multiple. It don't take a lot.
Yeah, because we bought...
I mean, we repaired the rails.
Now we can put the V-bars back together
Sorry.
and not sleep on the settees tonight. Why do we have settees and not a couch? Because Uma says don't buy a couch. If you haven't checked out Sailing Uma, check them out. They're right here on YouTube. In conclusion to boat project, waterbed, water tank. Inconceivable. Let me just tell you that it's inconceivable. Shut up. 5-minute epoxy does not take 5 minutes if it is under 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Last night, it was well under 75 degrees in the V-berth. Even with the heater blowing very closely.
Channeling all the wind directly on it. Air.
Yeah, and Johnny channeled all the air directly on the epoxy. Heater right there. It was apparently not 75 degrees in the V-berth because it took 9 hours for the epoxy to dry. And Johnny had to do 2 layers of the epoxy. And then he did the black and gold Brolite. So, needless to say, we are finally down 1 project. The water tank has been sealed. Johnny has moved on to the water lines that connect the water tank in the V-berth to the sink in the galley and to the head. Johnny discovered what most likely happened to the water tank, why we had to fix it. He discovered, in his words, a very old, very dead critter that was
probably put there by a wasp.
That was probably put there by a wasp and was in the vent of the water tank. So every time the tank got filled, the air couldn't escape. So the tank itself was expanding. And this eventually led to a crack, which led to our V-berth turning into a waterbed. But kudos to Johnny for getting that one down. Now we just gotta move on to the next project. It's the boater's life.